Hello and welcome. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Yes, it certainly has. So I'm going to do something slightly different today. As you can see, we've got the POV face cam thing going here. I'm going to do a little review of this, which is the Mega Drive Arcade Ultimate Portable. Well, I actually bought it as a Genesis Arcade Ultimate Portable, which is unusual for something in the UK because, as we all know, it was the Mega Drive over here and the Genesis in the US. But never mind. This was 35 quid from Argos. And the reason I got this in the first place was I was looking for some kind of portable handheld system that I could just rip apart. For a long time, I've had the idea that I wanted to build a portable system using a Raspberry Pi. And rather than design something custom the other night, a little drunk, I thought, fuck it, let's buy something and rip it to pieces. So I found this because 6 face buttons, which I want for fighting games, as well as obviously a D-pad. We've got a couple of menu buttons up here which I can wire to whatever function I want. So let's take a quick look at this. I'll do a quick review and hopefully be able to get in and do a quick teardown of this as well. Apologies about that, a little bit of a cock up with the video there. Let's open this thing up and see what we've got in here. I've had a little bit of a play with this already, as you'd expect. I can't leave a new toy alone for long, so let's have a look. Bit of foam padding. We've got a charging cable, which is just a standard micro USB cable, which is kind of handy because it doesn't mean that you need well, you can charge anything from USB these days. It would be nice if it was micro USB, not mini USB, but hey, you can't have everything. At least they've included it. We've got the unit itself, which we'll come back to. Nice little piece of kit. Not really much else in the box here. The instructions, which doesn't actually have that much in the way of English in it. Receipt, and this stupid... I can't get it out, can I? This was covering the screen. Why, whatever. Anyway, don't need that anymore. Let's put that aside. So, the unit itself, it's not bad. It's nice and small for my nice, big, massive hands. Oh, hello. You can see me. Hello. And my video's gone again. Oh, I hate when this happens. Okay, got my frames back. Okay, so it's not a bad looking little unit, so there's not much in the way of flex there at all. It's quite a well made piece of kit. It's not bad at all. We've got a battery compartment on the back here, which is, it's probably going to be non-removable. It's got a built-in lithium-ion battery, so I don't know why they bothered to include that in the first place, but whatever. Helpfully, we've got some screws around here, which look like it might be nice and easy to open up. So, let's plug in some headphones, because I'm using a headset mic, and otherwise, you're not going to be able to hear me. You're not going to be able to hear this thing. And let's fire it up and see how we get on. So, here we go. It comes with 20 games built in. It's made by a company called AT Games. And what you can do with this, however, let me just switch it off a moment, is you can stick in an SD card loaded with Mega Drive or Genesis ROMs. It doesn't seem to work with games that need the 32X add-on. Obviously, they haven't emulated that hardware. This is just the console itself. So, my frame rate seems to have disappeared again. Hello, camera. I'm using just an ordinary webcam for this, so yes, I'm not fancy enough to have expensive video hardware. So, see if we can get the screen. Oh my good lord, you really don't need to see me that close. There seems to be a lot of electrical noise with this thing, which is slightly annoying. So, like I say, we've got 20 games built in already here. I'm just going to skip to something that I know quite well, so that I can show it off a little bit. Sonic and Knuckles. It's annoying that they have only included Sonic and Knuckles and not any of the other Sonic games. Whatever. Sega! Sega! Oh. And let me just restart that a second, because this is the only one complaint I've got with this so far, is that I don't think the sound is quite right. Oh, too loud, too loud. So, in terms of the actual emulation, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I haven't had any problems with gameplay whatsoever so far. The sound is a little bit off, and if we turn it up a little bit, you can hear an awful lot of electrical noise in there, which is quite annoying. It would be nicer if they'd done the sound a little bit better with this thing. But, let's get started. Let's just, I won't play this for too long. Let's turn it down a little bit though, so you can actually hear me. I won't play this for too long because this is quite bloody awkward trying to look at a small screen and pay attention to make sure that everything's recording okay here. But as you can see, it does a more than adequate job of emulating Sega Mega Drive titles. It's, yeah, I've not really got any complaints about it, to be honest. I've not really got any complaints about the emulation itself. It seems to work just fine. Sound issues aside, that is the one bugbear I've got with it so far. It's just that the sound it's not right. It's definitely not right. Sound is a notoriously difficult thing to get right for emulation in any case, so... Oh, balls. I screwed that up, didn't I? I've lost count of the amount of... Oh! Bonus level. You can probably hear it there in the bonus level music. The sound is just... I played the shit out of this game when I was younger, and I know the noises it makes, and it just doesn't sound quite right. But then you won't get anything that's quite right unless you get a decent emulator system or the actual hardware itself. The screen size isn't actually too bad, to be honest. It looks like it might be a little bit small. It's 2.8 inch, and the resolution is what they call QVGA, quarter VGA. To you and me, that's 320 by 240, which it doesn't sound like much, but then you have to remember that these things were designed for old school TVs where the resolution... Oh shit, I nearly buggered that up, sorry. Where the resolution was terrible anyway, so on a screen this size, it actually looks nice and crisp. It's not too bad at all. Oh, I need to find... I'm going to be stuck in here forever unless I get through this soon. Ah, here we go. Oh, shit. I balls that up, didn't I? Yeah, I totally balls that up. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear it there in that music, just in the special stage in the end there. The music's just not right. But to be fair, I don't really have many complaints about this, and for the price that I paid for it, this, I have to be honest, is a fantastic little system. I really do quite like it. For the price, for 35 quid, that's a bit of a bargain if you ask me, and especially once you get some Mega Drive ROMs loaded up onto the onto an SD card and stick it in. Legally owned ROMs, I might add. It becomes a damn good system. And I have absolutely no idea what the battery life is like on this yet. There's no official battery life specs quoted on this. A couple of the reviews, so I bought this from Argos, a couple of the reviews on Argos reckon... Oh, bugger. Oh, I remember this bonus level is such a pain. A couple of the reviews that I've seen suggest anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, or they just say great battery life, which really doesn't help me at all. So I don't think I've actually used this long enough to wear the battery out completely. As you do with all new gadgets, I charged it when I got it, and I haven't charged... bum! I cocked that one up. And I've not had to charge it since. But, yes, time will tell on that one, I guess. I guess if I get at least 2 to 3 hours out of it, it would be a good buy. Well, I think it's a good buy anyway, but... Oh, you little bugger! 2 to 3 hours, I think, would be a respectable battery life for something like this. So, that's enough of that. Let's just have a quick look at ROMs on the SD card, just so we can show that working. These are just standard ROMs that have been dumped out. So, let's find another... Let's have a look here. Let's do... come on, next page, please. There we go. Let's do Sonic 2. Ooh. That's pretty awful. I forgot it does that. Sega! Yeah, so... Yeah, you see what I mean? The music just isn't quite right. And apologies, I know the video isn't coming out too well on this, but what can you do with a webcam? Yeah, the sound is annoying. That's the problem. I played so many of these games, especially the Sonic games. I played so many of these games for so long when I was younger that I know exactly what they sound like. I know what they should sound like, and it's not quite right. It's enough to put me off. It's not enough for me to recommend not to buy it, to be quite honest, but it's enough that it's going to bug me. In any case, that's done its job. It's proved its point. We can play games on an SD card. So far, though, I have seen a bit of a limitation in how many games that you can actually access on an SD card. You can load as many as your SD card obviously supports. I've got a 4 gig SD card in here, but it seems to top out at about 1,000 ROMs. But to be quite honest, if you've got 1,000 legit ROMs, then I'm really not sure you're interested in buying a little handheld system. You've probably bought a Nomad by now, but never mind. That's enough of that. let's switch it off. Oh, thank God for that. What an annoying background noise it puts on. And let's start pulling the thing apart and see what we can see inside. So first thing I want to do is just have a look at what battery is in this. So like I said earlier, the point of me buying this in the first place was so that I could rip it apart and stick a Raspberry Pi in here. So repurpose obviously the buttons on the front and build an emulator system out of this. So now that it comes to it, I'm not actually sure I want to pull this apart, but we're going to have a quick look anyway, and let's see what we can do. Now, that looks like a mobile phone battery if ever I've seen one. So it's 750 milliamp hour is the capacity on that, but 750 milliamp, yes, look at that. It looks like that would be where you'd put your SIM card in and what have you. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realize I was reflecting light right back into the camera. My frame rate's gone again. Hello, frames. Thank you. And yeah, so we're probably not going to be able to see this very well on the camera. It does say 650 milliamp hour, but that to me looks like a generic Chinese-made mobile phone battery of some kind. Doesn't matter. Obviously, this thing's going to be built down to a price. The company who makes it is based in China, but that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing these days because everything is made in China. Let's see if we can get this open. Oh, these screws are a little bit tight. Oh, yes, that's me. I've left my I've left noises on. Apologies. They're actually quite tight in here. My screwdriver probably isn't quite large enough for this, but this is the smallest screwdriver I've got that can get in here. These screw holes are quite awkward. Let me just turn my noises off a moment, because otherwise that's going to be a little bit distracting. There we go. 2 more screws over here. It's always nice to see screws on things like this instead of just having them as being just clipped or glued together. I like to see that. But then that's because I'm weird and I like to pull things apart like this, so. Okay, you're going to come out of there? Come on. This screw doesn't want to come out. There we go, there we go. Right, so we have the back panel undone. Let me just move these screws out of the way so that I don't scratch the shit out of the screen. So, how do we think this comes apart? Let's just go from the side, is it? Oh, I think there are clips on here. Yes, that's not coming away cleanly, so there are clips on here. Now, I don't want to damage this because I do actually like this thing. So I do want to try and avoid damaging this. I wonder if we can get this can out of here. I doubt it. Yes, this doesn't seem to want to come apart. There are definitely clips here. I'm not willing to pull this too much because I am going to break something here. So I'm wondering whether or not we need to be getting rid of this can in the background here. It's very difficult to tell. I thought, screws, nice, let's just pull them apart. Oh, hang on a minute, take my SD card out. Not that I think that's going to make a huge difference, to be honest, because the SD card slot is going to be one self-contained unit. But, some thinking time. Yes, I'll go away and think. I will come back to you. Aha, I've found it. So we're probably not going to be able to see this on camera very well, but you can just about make out some clips in there. So hopefully that's about just the extent of it. It's just some clips inside the case. Now, like I say, I really don't want to damage this, so I'm going to try and avoid being brutal with it, because well, it's quite a nice little thing, to be honest. I don't mind this at all. It does feel a little bit light, a little bit flimsy, maybe a little bit plasticky, but built down to a price. For what it is, I think it's a damn good unit. And it's just like me. Sorry, I've got my hands right in the way here, but not used to doing the... Oh, now, you see, I've scratched it. I've scratched it already. Balls. I was afraid of that. Not used to doing the point of view camera stuff here. So now I thought that I'd found... Oh! I have found the way in. And it's now on the floor. Here we go. Right, so... what do we have inside here? Not very much, to be quite honest. That can that we saw there, that's actually part of the SD card slot, so it's a good thing I didn't try and pry that off. So, okay, so here's our battery connector. Now, are they screws? They are not screws, they just look like plastic rivets. Okay, so I wonder if I'm going to be able to get the board out of here. So, what have we got on here? So, apologies, I know you can't see what's on the label very well here, so let me just see if I can read what's on there. That says Fujitsu Devices Inc. on here. Can't see any other model information on there. That's a little bit shoddy there. We've got an ESMT something here. I'm not sure what that is, but this is going to be the actual emulator system itself. This hot snot crap here is going to be the actual emulator system itself. So on the front, I'm guessing we're probably not going to find much except maybe an LCD controller is mounted on the front, but obviously we've got the rubber dome push buttons back on over on the front side, other side, whatever. So it looks like I will have to just yes. So I'm not really too concerned about the thing about seeing what's on here. My main concern was, am I going to be able to get a Raspberry Pi in here? And I have to be quite honest, I have my doubts that it's actually going to fit in here. I'm going to have to use an A, definitely an A+, to get everything in here, to get the size down. But my main concern is the screen itself. Now, it would be good if I could get the thing. Get this board out and have a look at the front. Problem with that is, I think maybe can we unclip the front of this as well? Let's do a cut. Ah, look, more on here has missed. Screw and screw. Come on, camera, give me my frames back, please. Please give me frames. Yes. I've missed a couple of screws holding this thing together. No wonder it won't lever apart nicely, because it's screwed together. Always check for more screws. I'm quite surprised that they've actually gone to the effort of putting so many screws in this. Normally they'll just glue all this kind of thing together because it is far, far cheaper to manufacture that way. So, hopefully, this will now allow me to lift the board out. Aha! It's lifting. Here we go. Now, all the buttons are loose in the front of this now, so I'm going to have to be careful. I have to be careful anyway, because I don't want to break it, to be quite honest. I would very much like to use this again. So, something over here seems to want to keep the board down. So, can we get the board up over these plastic clips? I'm being cautious over here, because the speaker over here is still attached. And it looks like that speaker may be glued into the front, so I have to be careful here. Like I say, I don't really want to break anything here. I'm not. I would like for this to work again. Okay. Maybe we want to try this from the top. I'm wary of doing this from the top because we have this LED. We have this bicolor LED over here, which I really don't want to break. This is your charging indicator over here, so you switch it on, you get a nice green light, and it's red when it's charging. We've got a second LED here as well for low battery, but yes. This looks like it's going to be a bit of a bitch to get into. Okay, let's do a cut again, and I'll see what I can do. Okay, I think that's quite enough of that. I've managed to lever this board forward far enough just to see that the LCD is mounted straight to the back of this board. So obviously this has got a double-sided. There must be this is a double-sided construction board. There may even be more layers in here, which means that one of these two is going to be a sound driver. The other one is going to an LCD driver, and this over here is our actual hardware emulator. That will be what that is, because this will be a completely custom designed jobby, so why spend the money on packaging it? So these are obviously going to be off the shelf bits here. So if I would hazard a guess, I would probably say that the Fujitsu one over here is more likely to be an LCD controller, but whatever. And we've probably got some flash memory here for all the ROMs on there, and the system BIOS. So what have we learned from this? I think that if this is going to be turned into a custom handheld Raspberry Pi powered portable, it's going to be extremely tight getting everything in here, and it's certainly going to be a bit of a challenge. However, if I can actually manage to do that, that will be a very nice, neat little portable system indeed. I'm probably going to need one or two more buttons. We've got a menu button over here, we've got start and pause over here, but with MAME emulation, you also need things like coin, you need menu, you need one player start, obviously two player starts if you're playing with two players, but two players aren't going to play this. You need about 3 or 4 support buttons, so I may have to introduce some more, possibly on the back. That will do. Anyway, so this, I think, is a fantastic little unit. Like I said, I bought this for £35 in Argos in the UK. It's sold by a company called AT Games. Made by a company called AT Games. I don't know what they sell it as, or elsewhere, or anything like that. But yes, well worth a buy, I think, personally. The sound is a little bit off. It's not quite right. But for the size of the thing, I think it's definitely worth the money. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Now I need to put this thing back together, because I'm probably going to play on it some more. Bye for now. But wait! We're not finished yet. I done gone and fucked up. I've just been looking back over my video footage I've just taken here, and I done fucked up. I missed some screws. Let's strip this back down. Okay, so what I spotted last time was we have a screw here, and we have a screw here. What I completely failed to miss last time was that we also have a screw here. So this is the reason I couldn't get the board out of the bloody thing, because I missed all of the screws. All of the important screws. So one. Sorry. Oh, hello. My camera's fallen. Come back, camera. Come back. We don't need to see my little toys. Oh dear. If anybody would like to buy me a decent video camera, please feel free. Until then, you're just going to have to make do with the Microsoft LifeCam HD 3000. Which, you little shit. Come back here. Come back here. There we go. No, no, no. Stay still. Stay still. Thank you. Thank you. Right. One more screw. Try not to destroy the heads, shall we? Right. There's all 3 of our screws removed. Let's pop it back down on this. Oh, hello. It's stuck to the mat. It's stuck to the speaker. Because the speaker's a giant magnet. Okay. Right. So, now, let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look so you can see as well. I am fairly sure that I cannot see any more screws in here. So, hopefully now, I'll be able to lever this piece of plastic backwards. Ah, there we go. So that pop means that the headphone jack is free. Aha. And the board is now loose. Ta-da! However, is it going to come out? Is that speaker going to come out? It looks like it does. Excellent. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. So, let's set that aside for a moment. Pop that down here. So, as I suspected, these are just rubber dome contact switches in here. So, if I were to build this into a Raspberry Pi, build a Raspberry Pi into this, what I would have to do is either turn these into tactile switches, which is probably my preference, or I'm going to have to cut this board to pieces and wire into these connectors here, which I don't really want to do. What this is telling me, however, is that getting a Raspberry Pi... What are these? These are... menus. Oh, these are tact switches. Nice. They appear to be PCB-mounted tactile switches. What this is telling me, however, is that some frames have been stolen again. Hello, camera. Frames. Hello? There we go. Thank you. Missing frames returned. So what this is telling me is that getting a Raspberry Pi in here is going to be an extremely tricky proposition. There is really not an awful lot of space to work with in this. So we do have a double-sided board layout by the looks of it. What are these giant... those giant contacts are the volume pot. Okay. What else have we got sticking through here? So we've got a couple of transistors, which I suspect are to do with power or charging. It's usually what you'd use them for. Speaking of charging, actually, where's the charging jack on here? This must be a very, very small integrated charging circuit down here. It's absolutely tiny. Anyway, I did actually look up ESMT. This is the flash memory. So that means this is the video controller, which I thought it might be. And like we said before, this black hot snot glob is the actual emulator system itself. So it's doable. It's certainly doable. It's going to need some extreme dieting for the Raspberry Pi to get it all in here. There is not much space inside this case at all. However, I think that would be a hell of a little system if it could be done. So, now that I've fixed my cock up here, I am going to try and very gently, very carefully reassemble this. You don't need to see this bit though, so this is now really the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go and get frustrated in putting this back together. Thank you for watching. See you next time.